This week, our Houston Texans play the Arizona Cardinals here in Houston, and let's take a look at these Cardinals, man. Let's start off with the head coach, Bruce Arians, man. I love Bruce Arians. I believe Bruce Arians is one of the better coaches in the league, and thank God Indianapolis decided to stick with Chuck Pagano, because if they would have gone with Bruce Arians, then things would have been different for the Colts. But luckily, they were stupid enough. They kept Pagano, and Bruce Arians has been the Cardinals coach ever since. And I'd say he's done a pretty good job. They've made the playoffs most of the years he's been there, except for last year, and obviously probably this year. Not that David Johnson and Carson Palmer are pretty much out for the season. David Johnson could come back, but I highly doubt they even bring him back. Like, why even risk it? Anyways, let's start with their offense. On offense, the Arizona Cardinals average 17.2 points per game, which is 27th in the NFL, so they're pretty bad putting up points. They average 332 yards per game, which is right in the middle of the NFL, 16th. Passing yards per game, 260, which is surprisingly 4th. And rushing yards, 71.7, which is second to last. So this team, they struggle running the ball, and it's pretty obvious why. They don't have their star running back, David Johnson. David Johnson does everything for them. David Johnson is their offense, but they have been having some success this season in a couple of games with Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson has gone over 100 yards in 2 games, and the other games he's played with Arizona, he's pretty much struggled. Pretty much has done nothing. That's why their run game is pretty much non-existent. I mean, Adrian Peterson, he has 95 attempts for 343 yards and averages 3.6 per yards per attempt. His longest was a 27-yard run and 2 rushing touchdowns to go with it. They had Chris Johnson, but Chris Johnson's long gone because he was struggling worse than Adrian Peterson, so that's why they traded for Peterson. Andre Ellington. Ellington's pretty much a third down back. He goes out there to catch a pass. Now, Adrian Peterson does struggle fumbling the ball. It's been an issue his whole career, so I don't really think this running game of Arizona is that scary at all. Nothing about it scares me. But their passing game, surprisingly, man, top 5 in the NFL when it comes to a passing offense, and it's kind of surprising because Stanton's been the quarterback for the past 2 games, but that's indeed going to change because Stanton is going to be out for the game versus the Texans. So Blaine Gabbert is your quarterback. So if you guys remember, man, Blaine Gabbert used to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars, played last season with the Niners, and Blaine Gabbert was never good. He'll never be good. He never was good. And that's pretty much all there is to say about Blaine Gabbert. So I do feel like their passing offense will take a step back with Blaine Gabbert. But regardless, man, you can't ignore the facts. Larry Fitzgerald, 60 receptions, 677 yards, man. The guy's still a beast. And of course, he still got other weapons like J.J. Nelson, who terrifies me just for the simple fact that he's fast. Jerome Brown, John Brown. They have all sorts of weapons, but the question is, can Blaine Gabbert get the ball to them? That's the question. And their offensive line, I'd assume, is pretty bad because they have no success running the football, and the Cardinals quarterbacks have been sacked 26 times, so I would assume their offensive line isn't that good. So, now let's move on to their defense. Their defense allows 24.8 points per game, which is 25th in the league. It allows an average of 342 yards per game, which is 18th in the league. They allow 97.7 rushing yards per game, which is actually 9th in the league. So their run defense is there, but their secondary really isn't, and they struggle stopping teams from scoring. But a lot of this is probably due to the fact that these guys have a -5 turnover differential, so they obviously turn the ball over. I mean, Carson Palmer threw 7 interceptions the time he was quarterback. Drew Stanton threw 2. So let's see what Blaine Gabbert does. Hopefully he throws more. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, you guys already know. Tyrann Mathieu, Pat Pete, those guys are pretty much the defense. Calais Campbell used to be there, but now he's in Jacksonville, so I would think that their defensive line is not as good, but their run defense is good, so I guess they do have a good defensive line. I know they have Chandler Jones and what's his name? That the other outside linebacker, Golden. So I would say that this defense is a lot better than what the stats indicate. They have a lot of stars on this defense. They got 2 good edge rushers, a good safety in Tyrann Mathieu, of course Pat Pete, and you got Budda Baker, man, which is someone I really liked in the draft. I'm not sure if they've been using him much, but of course they got Buchanan, who is their middle linebacker, but should really be playing safety. I don't really know what they do with him. Kind of like a hybrid player. Carlos Dansby is still there. Tyvon Branch. So, and they got that one guy, Robert something. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. They drafted him last year, and I thought the guy could be pretty good, but he's been kind of a disappointing player for them. And maybe he can do something for them, but not against the Texans, hopefully. So who knows, man? This team is pretty good. I don't think they're as bad as their record indicates. They're 4-5 right now, but if you throw in David Johnson, if you throw in Carson Palmer back in there, what would their record be? I feel like the Cardinals are in the same boat as the Texans. The Texans are without JJ, without Whitney, and without Deshaun Watson. So, a lot of bad luck for a lot of teams. The Cardinals are just like us, man. Just like us. An injured team. Now, for the special teams. So you guys know, for the last few years, the Cardinals have struggled in the kicking game. So, this season, it's more of the same, I'd say. Field goals, they're 13 for 19, so they've really only missed 6, but that's pretty much 6 out of 19. That's about missing 33% of your field goals, so I'd pretty much go and say that they're struggling on special teams, which has pretty much been the case for them when it comes to the field goal unit. And of course, these guys can, at whatever point they want, put Patrick Peterson back there to return the kick, which is really dangerous. So, there's that. Other than that, man, I don't really have much else to say about the Cardinals. And if you're a Cardinals fan and you're watching, please correct me, because I don't really watch your team. I think I've only watched them play once, and it was last Thursday against the Seahawks. So feel free to correct me if I missed anything. I'm not an expert at your team, so I cover my Texans, so I only really focus on them. So, with that being said, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.